Hello, I'm Laura Painter. You're watching an ABC 10 Plus recap of stories you may have missed. We have an update on the deadly fireworks warehouse explosion in Esparto. The California State Fire Marshal has suspended the licenses of the two companies tied to the explosion. Then, in dollars and cents, learn about debt consolidation options as an expert discusses benefits, risks, and strategies for managing your debt effectively. The ABC 10 Plus recap starts now. We are tracking the latest in the deadly Esparto fireworks explosion. The California State Fire Marshal has suspended the licenses of the two companies tied to the deadly fireworks explosion in Esparto that killed 7 people.
And new tonight, the fire marshal has more information about those suspensions as families continue to demand answers. ABC 10's Luke Clary spoke directly to the agency.
Yes, and he has the latest tonight from Esparto.
Where I'm standing now is about as close as we're allowed to get to the site. And here, for about 2 weeks now, families have waited, desperate for answers, frustrated by the slow trickle of information. You can see the growing memorial here all around me. And today, I spoke with the California State Fire Marshal who is leading this investigation. I asked him about those suspended licenses and who was supposed to be running oversight.
The blast took lives and shattered a community. The two pyrotechnic companies operating here and their owners under investigation. Kenneth Chi owns Devastating Fireworks. Craig Cutright, a volunteer firefighter in Esparto, owns Black Star Fireworks. The state fire marshal has suspended their licenses, considering revoking them altogether.
We have enough here to know that these individuals currently should not be purchasing, selling, or using any type of pyrotechnics in California while this investigation is ongoing.
While the companies were licensed at the state level, Yolo County officials say the property was zoned agricultural intensive, which bans fireworks storage. The property owned by Yolo County Sheriff Lieutenant Sam Machado, now on leave. Officials say no local permits were ever issued here for fireworks, pyrotechnics, or other explosive material. The fire marshal says local authorities were responsible for doing that.
The fire code requires local jurisdiction to provide the local permit. It's not a mandated inspection. It's up to the local authority having jurisdiction, just like any hazardous material, any explosive material, to set based on that hazard how frequently they want to choose to inspect it.
7 people were killed in the explosion, some in their teens and 20s, some fathers, all of them loved by someone.
This is a tragedy. This is horrible. Nobody should go through this. Nobody.
Families demanding answers. Was the employer following the rules to keep their loved ones safe?
It's all going to be part of our investigation to make sure were all the rules followed. Again, we know something went wrong, but it's really too early to tell what went wrong and then to be able to point fingers.
I've reached out to the Yolo County Board of Supervisors to ask them to clarify their oversight role. We have not heard back yet. I've also reached out to the attorneys representing the owners of the businesses here. They have not yet responded. Reporting in Esparto, Luke Clary, ABC 10.
Luke, thank you for that update. And late this afternoon, Yolo County Sheriff Tom Lopez released a statement about the explosion. It reads in part, quote, "We understand the community's desire for answers and accountability. Please know that we share that commitment. We will continue to cooperate fully with the agencies leading this investigation and remain steadfast in our duty to serve the public responsibly and with transparency."
A controversial bill targeting the homeless crisis in Sacramento County, Senate Bill 802, has been pulled for now. The bill was set to go before 2 committees this morning. But this morning, State Senator Angelique Ashby announced she's pulling the bill in order to get more feedback from local leaders. The bill proposes restructuring the Sacramento Housing and Redevelopment Agency into a joint powers authority.
The thing that convinced me to take this opportunity to bring in the community and not just force upon them this one particular strategy is, first of all, I don't think I'm the expert on exactly all the details that need to be in that structure or frame. But what I am tired of is waiting for somebody to figure it out. And I think they are too. I think we all are tired of waiting. And I know this, the million constituents that I represent are definitely tired of waiting for us to figure out the details. Nothing sharpens the mind like a deadline. So here's the takeaway. We have a deadline.
And at today's announcement, as you see there, Ashby was joined at today's announcement by multiple local leaders, including Folsom Mayor Sarah Aquino and several Sacramento City Council members, including Katie Maple, who told us the programs we have now are just too fragmented.
We see that it's difficult for folks to get connected to housing that they need. We see that it's difficult for folks to get connected to shelter, to get into the services that they need. And it's really not a lack of effort. I think there's a lot of people in all of these different governments and systems that work really hard. They just don't have the structure or the framework to work together.
Ashby says she hopes to bring the bill back next year.
And tonight, accessory dwelling units, or ADUs, growing in popularity. So are the complaints about increasing companies that are making problems for some people. Some have lost thousands of dollars in the process, and others have had projects delayed for years. The Contractor State Licensing Board says they are now dedicating a lot more resources to the issue. And as ABC10's Jeannie Nguyen explains, there are a number of things that homeowners can do to protect themselves. Right, Jeannie?
That's right, Alex. I have been covering this issue for about a year now, and the state says they started seeing more complaints about ADUs because of the Fair Oaks-based company Anchored Tiny Homes. That company is now closed, but there are other concerns out there.
Right here, and it's a studio ADU, 240 square feet.
This ADU in Crystal Myers' woodland backyard will soon be a new home for her mother-in-law. But getting to this point has been a journey. In April 2023, she hired Anchored Tiny Homes to do the job.
We ended up losing, I want to say, all calculated about $10,000 if I had to guess.
Months later, the Fair Oaks-based company closed its doors, filed for bankruptcy, and lost its contractor's license. Since then, Crystal hired another contractor, but not without a major learning lesson.
I didn't know that there was laws that protected me. I tried to just do everything by contract and didn't know that there was, anything that was moving forward past the contract that would protect me.
Crystal is one of the many homeowners impacted by the growing complaints surrounding ADUs.
It's brought some egregious actors into the industry.
The Contractors State License Board is state-run and aims to regulate the construction industry. The CSLB says it started noticing growing ADU complaints last summer.
That's when we really started seeing the complaints come up. And as we starting to see the trends in them of excess down payments or excess progress payments, we started taking action.
The state has dedicated its multiple offender unit to address the ongoing problems.
The unit is focused on quick disclosure on the license, so consumers, when they do the license check, can see that there's been complaints received, getting an accusation filed to revoke the license, and then coordinating the investigation with local prosecutors to address the financial crimes that may have occurred.
And now the state is seeing a common theme with one Rancho Cordova-based company who currently has 5 active and open complaints with the state.
We're seeing the excessive down payments. We're seeing the excessive progress payments. We're seeing, in this case, similar to Anchored Tiny Homes, are also the issue of potential subcontractors not being paid as well. Those tend to be the main issues that we've seen with Nona as well.
A representative for Nona Homes provided ABC10 with a statement that says in part, these are not findings of fault and many complaints are dismissed or resolved without any disciplinary action. For Crystal, she believes she dodged a bullet after inquiring with Nona.
And they didn't follow through with the items that I asked, and so I couldn't trust it.
Crystal opted to go with another company after getting a referral and doing more research. If everything goes according to plan, this should be move-in ready within the next 2 weeks. Crystal says this has been a long time coming for her mother-in-law.
She's ready. She's excited to move in here and anxious. Yep.
As for the people who have lost money, the state wants you to keep this in mind.
$1,000 for the down payment and only paying for work as it's being done or supplies are being delivered. The Contractors State License Board says it is in the process of hiring 3 additional investigators for its multiple offender unit to expand the team to 10 staff members. We have also posted the full statement from Nona Homes and an acceptable sample payment schedule from the state on our website at abc10.com. Alex.
Time now for Dollars and Cents. Many of you have been sending me questions about ways to manage your debt. One way to do that is through debt consolidation. It's a way to roll up multiple debts into one payment. But a Sacramento-based financial coach tells me you'll first want to weigh the risks and the costs.
A viewer wrote to me asking a really good question. Do you suggest debt consolidation What are the perks as well as the downsides? Do you have recommendations on what to look out for if you move forward with debt consolidation of our credit cards? Do you suggest a debt consolidation?
Great question, and it really does depend on you and your situation.
Debt consolidation rolls multiple debts into a single payment. Financial advisor and coach Maureen Paley says debt consolidation might make sense for you if you have high interest rate debt spread across multiple loans and credit cards.
Sometimes debt consolidation can be helpful because usually it just wraps things up in one payment. And people like that for ease of simplicity.
Paley says one way to do that is by getting a personal loan from your bank and use that money to pay off your other debt. But make sure the interest rate on your new loan is lower than what you're currently paying and that you can pay the monthly payment. Also keep in mind the loan amount and interest rate you qualify for.
This can be a good way to hit the brakes on it spiraling out of control. But keep in mind, if you use a loan to do that, you still have a debt burden and you still have to pay that loan that's now going to pay off the other debts.
If you'd rather have a professional help you navigate all this, Paley warns a debt consolidation company could charge a fee.
In my time as a financial coach and counselor, I have seen people making monthly payments in debt consolidation that was way more than what they needed to be paying.
So Paley encourages you to take matters into your own hands.
All of us as consumers of credit can take the same steps that the debt consolidation companies take. They're not doing anything that we already don't have the power to do.
You might also be able to get free help. Paley suggests Green Path Financial Wellness, a national nonprofit which, according to its website, helps people build financial health and resiliency. There's also Sacramento's Financial Empowerment Center, which I first introduced to viewers back in 2023. It offers free one-on-one coaching for residents. There are also free debt consolidation calculators online, like this one from NerdWallet. If you decide to work with a debt consolidation company, Paley reminds you to get in writing everything they're going to offer you and the costs associated. For more money advice to help you navigate our changing economy, stream all of my Dollars and Cents stories right now on the free ABC10 Plus TV streaming app. You can also email me your questions at lpainter@abc10.com.
The back and forth between Governor Gavin Newsom and President Donald Trump continues. The federal government announced plans to remove 2,000 National Guard troops from LA.
But that doesn't mean that they'll be leaving immediately. Monica Madden has today's developments.
The Trump administration is scaling back its National Guard deployment in Los Angeles.
To end this theater once and for all.
Last month's scenes of chaotic protests in Los Angeles cooled down weeks ago, but some troops will stay on the ground. A Pentagon spokesman saying, quote, "Thanks to our troops who stepped up to answer the call, the lawlessness in Los Angeles is subsiding."
They're a solution right now in search of a problem. But
once those released troops are ready, the governor says they'll return to regular duties in California.
They need to get back doing the rattlesnake teams, which are basically teams that work in partnership with other state agencies and conservation corps and CAL FIRE to do the vegetation and forest management, hundreds of them. So they'll be reassigned when they come back under our control.
Still, Newsom says the fight continues with a warning to the nation.
They've tested the boundaries of the law. They've tested the boundaries of public perception and what the public will accept. And they're going to export, including potentially members of our own state National Guard.
His lawsuit over the matter still up for debate in federal courts.
No, I don't think this development changes anything in the legal battle. I mean, the legal battle is over the validity of the initial order. Trump administration might argue, well, it's moot now because we've reduced the numbers, but that doesn't really change the legal question.
Constitutional law expert Rory Little notes the courts still haven't addressed the case's merits.
There's a statute that says the president may call out National Guard if the president acts through the governor in a time of rebellion or a time when the federal government is unable to carry out its lawful duties,
which could have broader implications nationwide.
This is a case that could go to the Supreme Court, but it's impossible to predict those things.
Well, according to NOAA, 2024 was the warmest year on record for the United States. And that means tougher conditions for the farming population. Today, Senator Alex Padilla was joined by lawmakers and farm workers to announce federal workplace heat stress protections. The Heat Illness, Injury, and Fatality Prevention Act was created to protect the safety and health of indoor and outdoor workers who are exposed to dangerous heat conditions in the workplace. Between 1992 and 2017, heat stress injuries killed 815 U.S. workers and seriously injured more than 70,000.
It's unconscionable that in the year 2025, we do not have a federally enforceable heat safety standard for workers.
The bill is named in honor of Asuncion Valdivia, a California farm worker who died in 2004 after picking grapes for 10 hours straight in 105-degree temperatures. Of course, stay with us for updates on how that develops, but I do want to bring in meteorologist Brendan Minship because thankfully we're starting to get a break from some of that heat.
Yeah, and even though we know that fire season is year-round, this is, like you said, a much welcomed break.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime temperatures come down, it just helps improve the mood of everyone. You know, it feels better outside, and it does somewhat mitigate the fire threat. But, of course, the real fire threat, if we don't have rain, everything just dries out. And so you can't really make fire season go away until we get some rain, and that we know is not coming for several more months. But temperature-wise, it was pretty extraordinary today. Only 82 in Sacramento, 87 in Stockton, 88 in Modesto, 90 up in Oroville, mid-80s in the foothills, low to mid-80s in the high country. That departure from normal, we were 11 degrees cooler than normal today in Sacramento. Santa Rosa was 14 degrees cooler than normal. Stockton, 9 degrees. Modesto, 7 degrees. South Lake Tahoe, perfectly seasonal. So across Northern California, we were at, but for most of us, quite a bit below normal this afternoon. Temperatures at the moment, 79 in Sacramento, already cooling off, and it's not that hot to begin with. The evenings cool off in a hurry. 83 in Stockton, 86 in Manteca, 86 in Modesto, 89 in Colusa at the moment, and upper 70s in the high country. We've got a really nice delta breeze starting to overspread the valley, about 15 miles per hour in Sacramento, 20 miles per hour out in Fairfield, 10 to 15 down across the San Joaquin Valley. Gusts close to 25 right now in Sacramento. One thing we are watching on radar, a few storms. These are well to our east, and that is where they are going to stay down near 395 and into the state of Nevada. We're seeing just a few storms there with a few lightning strikes. But again, that is pretty much in the state of Nevada along 395 at this point. Clear and dry across Sacramento. A little hazy perhaps, but 79, that's 3 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. Winds south-southwest at about 15 miles per hour. We'll be in the 60s by 9 o'clock, low 60s by midnight, and into the 50s as we head through the overnight. We're going to start off in the mid-50s across much of the valley, so cool and perhaps a little bit of marine intrusion, especially in the Delta, but I don't expect widespread marine stratus. Tomorrow morning, 56 Sacramento, 57 Stockton, 59 in Modesto, 50s and 60s in the foothills, low to mid 40s up in the Sierra. As we go through the daytime tomorrow, it's going to be warmer than today, but still not necessarily hot. 78 at noon, 89 degrees is my forecast high. The average high is 93, so we're still going to be running close to 5 degrees cooler than normal for the time of year. 89 Sacramento, 92 in Stockton, 93 Modesto, 95 up in Colusa, 80s and 90s in the foothills, and low to mid 80s in the high country. Breezy through the evening. It remains breezy through the overnight, so cool and a bit breezy to start Thursday morning, and then we get another very nice delta breeze for Thursday evening. As we look at that departure from normal, we do start to get closer to seasonal, right? 4 degrees cooler than normal tomorrow, 2 degrees cooler than normal on Friday. By Sunday, we're at 93 degrees. That is our average high. But then Monday, our temperatures drop more than 5 degrees below normal, back into the mid 80s. That's because high pressure is staying away for the next several days before it does start to build in once again next week. But really, in the near term, it is at or below normal. 89 tomorrow, 91 on Friday, 92 on Saturday. And again, 93 is the peak of the heat, and that is perfectly normal for the time of year. And then we're back in the mid-80s to open up next work week. And in fact, all 5 days for next work week are in the 80s. This is really, really nice July weather. I won't say it's abnormal, right? We definitely get some 80s in July, but it's not triple digits, right? And we had a lot of those last July.
Certainly. I think we had like 12 or something to start the last year, right?
Yeah, 12, 10 of the first 12 days of July last year.
We're nowhere near that, so no
Definitely not.
complaints in this department.
Yep.
Brendan, thank you.
ABC10's Mark S. Allen has his smock on today, or at least he did. He's going to show us the immersive experience.
Yeah, I've been told not to touch anything for that matter. Actually, there is a place where you can put your own Monet on. I'll talk about that in a little bit. In the meantime, Gotham, thanks so much for hanging out. What I love, again, for those just tuning in, it's a homecoming for you. You immigrated from India to Sacramento. Home base is Atlanta for all that is the Monet exhibit, but you're here now. Welcome back.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, so what room are we in now?
This, as you can tell, is Monet's muse. This is where Impressionism began. This is Giverny.
Yeah, exactly. You and I talk about one of our favorite movies is Midnight in Paris. In fact, I'm going to have camera guy Winston turn the top light off because like a haunted house, our lights crush everything. So while we get camera adjusted to truly give people the effect, the room now is what inspired him to paint lilies.
So he bought this estate in Giverny when he turned 50, and flowers were his passion. So he wanted to paint the water lilies. He wanted to paint the pond and the Japanese bridges, as you can tell. You're inside one of his paintings.
This is but one room. Talk about everything there is to see.
Oh, there is the projection of koi pond, the water lilies. You see the little nuances.
And the other rooms too.
Yes, absolutely. And then we go to the next room, which is going to be an immersive 360-degree floor to ceiling.
And as we travel there, talk about all the other stuff that there is to see and do. And when I said there's a hands-on experience.
Oh, there is a hands-on experience. There is a great painting station where you can create your own masterpiece, and you can see that projected on the wall. And not only that, there is this amazing VR experience. You have to experience that.
That will blow you away with full-on VR goggles. In the meantime, if we could come back live, this room, if you spend 10 minutes in here, I promise you, much like the Sphere in Vegas, it will blow you away. The room completely transforms into 12 different venues.
Yes, this is the best part here is what you see, the paintings moving. They're not just still images on the wall. You see every brush stroke, you feel it, and the whole sound and light experience. You can just come here, relax, de-stress.
Monet was the father of Impressionism, and in fact, he pretty much named it, right?
Yes.
If you look at the ground, I got to be honest with you. If you look at the ground, it's as though I'm EDM tripping right now. It's like you're moving. This is insane.
Yes, this is the creation, based from his paintings, our art historians, and our team that has created this amazing experience, which will just be spectacular for visitors.
I've seen a Da Vinci exhibit from your company. I've seen a Titanic exhibit. Really world-class venues brought to our area. So how long do you think this will stay?
Well, at least we're going to be here until the holidays. And just depending on popular demand, we might extend this further.
There you go. Monet, not going away anytime soon. Questions, comments?
Yes, sir. For folks who want to go, where would they find tickets? I assume this is not a benefit, right?
Exactly. I'll be scalping some on eBay, but truly, where to get tickets?
You go to monetexpo.com, or you can just go get it from the box office when you arrive.
There you go. And by the way, it's not just a pop in and out. It's a 90-minute, at least, immersive experience, fun for the whole family. Back at you.
Thank you so much for watching this ABC10 Plus recap. We're here 24/7 on the free ABC10 Plus TV streaming app. You can get your local news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Laura Painter. Take care. I'll see you next time.